Hey everybody, welcome to today's podcast where we'll be talking to another one of our Tote members, and this time it's Marcella. She's been training with Kieran over the last year online during the lockdown. She's going to talk about how fitness has improved her confidence, her mindset, and how Kieran has helped her get rid of that sweet tooth. Okay, so have a listen. I hope you enjoy it, and please, if anybody has any questions, let me know. Thank you.
This is the Ger Conroy Fitness Podcast. For more, see gerconroy.ie.
Marcella, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure, Ger.
Very, very good. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Tell me, look, we'll get straight into it, okay? So I just want to kind of hear your story, and I want everybody else to kind of hear your story, and hopefully somebody can relate to it and they can get something out of it. That's what this whole podcast is about, okay? So perfect. I suppose, when and why did you start exercising, and how has exercise improved your life in any way?
I started exercising, I'd say, a few years ago, probably back in 2016. And I just felt that just for confidence and my self-esteem, and just literally just to, lose weight and tone up a little bit. And I started going to the gym, and I just found it helped my confidence a lot, and to tone up, and I felt actually fitter, and I slept better as well. And overall I found it really good, beneficial.
Very good. And that's the thing, like, so many people will join the gym and say they're joining it just because it's January. They don't actually even have a reason to join it sometimes. And then a lot of people it will be weight loss, it will be weight gain, muscle gain, whatever it may be. But like, at least you have a goal and a reason to actually join the gym, because when you have a reason, and when you have a why, is what we kind of say, is when you have a why, as in your reason, that's when you will stick to it then, Absolutely.
It's a goal, it's a focus, it's an enjoyable hobby, and it's lots of positive strengths to get, you can gain from it, helps you in so many ways.
And tell me, when you first joined the gym, whether it was our gym or any other gym, it doesn't matter, but when you first joined the gym or started to exercise, any kind of form of exercising, were you nervous about doing it, or did you feel intimidated if you were going into a gym? What was your feelings?
I found it fine. I just enjoyed it. It was nice and private as well, and I enjoyed it. And when I came to your gym, that I had a personal trainer, Kieran was great, and he really helped me a lot, and he gave me so much advice, and gave me incredible advice about my body shape, what would help me. And during lockdown, I found it so beneficial. It helped me an awful lot personally for for my confidence, self-esteem, and also just to tone up as well. And literally it helped me so much, because I've learned a lot about my diet. I would be very fond of, I guess I have a sweet tooth.
I think most people do.
Yes, exactly. So I would love sweets, chocolate, sometimes cakes, buns, you know what I mean? Like everybody really. And I'd have a glass of wine or two as well. And basically, I was quite naive, do you know what I mean, about sugars. So Kieran would advise me about recording my daily diary, my food intake, and that was a huge help as well. So I downloaded the fitness app, and basically I noticed an awful lot when I recorded what I ate every day. So, like, for example, I would eat porridge in the morning, and I cut out completely toast and things like that, and pasta and rice. I kind of completely, put that away from my diet. So I would have taken the porridge in the morning, and then a nice salad at lunchtime, a really healthy salad, sometimes with fish, sometimes with chicken, and then some fruit, and then some water, something like that. And it was good.
Very good. And when you were like eating the toast in the morning, say for breakfast, would that be most days you just have toast, and why is it toast? Is it just the convenience of it?
I think when I'd have my breakfast, like my porridge, and then I'd have my toast and my tea. For example, in the evening time, I'd end up having more toast and tea. So I actually had a lot. It was kind of a habit. So it became a habit for me. It's one of those things. It's like when you sit down and watch the TV, okay, let's have some chocolate or tea. I cut that out, and obviously I had to cut down on the toast and stuff like that. So probably I wasn't really aware of how much I was eating and some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when the fact that you recorded it, I think that's a huge help to record what you're eating.
It's massive, like, especially even just like I always say to people, don't become obsessed with it. You don't have to record everything you're eating every single day, every single week, forever. You know, it'll become an obsession, and an unhealthy obsession at that. But I always say to people, just write down what you're eating for a couple of days or a week, obviously max, and just see, because so many people would come to me or Kieran or any of the trainers at the gym here, and they'd say, I can't lose weight and I don't know why. And I'd say, what's your diet like? Oh no, but I eat healthy. Like, I don't eat chocolate, like I eat healthy. And I'd say, okay, just write it down. And when you ask them, okay, well, what would you normally eat on a day? They'd kind of give you an average day, but it'd be like, oh, well, I'd have porridge for breakfast. I'd have a salad or a wrap, and then I'd have like meat, veg, and potatoes. Nothing too crazy. But it's when they actually write it down, they're like, oh, well, I didn't realize that I have a can of Coke with me lunch, and I actually have a snack, like a snack bar in the middle of the day. And then I'll have a few biscuits at night with my cup of tea. And they're like, oh my God, all of these things that I'm having that I didn't actually know I was even having. And
That's
people
very
are
true.
blown away by the fact that, how did I not realize I'm eating biscuits every single day?
You kind of don't realize it. You go about your day, you're busy, you know, you can be busy with work, with family, and then just you kind of relax, and then you have something in between what your tasks you're completing that day. And then it just happens. You end up eating more than you realize.
Yeah. And like when you're exercising, obviously you joined the gym, you wanted to lose weight. And that was your primary goal. Am I right in saying that?
Absolutely. And I also found that when I was in my 20s, I actually could eat it whatever I liked. Do you know what I mean? I had a faster metabolism, but as I got older, it was harder for me to burn it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. And did you exercise when you were, saying, your 20s, or did you just
I,
think I was getting away with it, so I didn't need to exercise?
I didn't really exercise as much, but the thing was, I kind of ate very little, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I ate
Yeah.
food, but I kind of ate very little. Do you know what I mean? I kind of had snacky kind of food, and I'd have a breakfast, whatever, but my eating habits wasn't as good, to be
Yeah.
honest.
A lot of people think because I don't eat chocolate and takeaways all the time, and I wouldn't drink a lot of alcohol, wherever it may be, they think they're just eating healthy. But a lot of the times they're not eating healthy because they're not actually eating enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of times where I'd say to somebody, okay, you want to lose weight? Okay, you got to start eating more. And they look at you like you have 10 heads, and you're like, what do you mean? Like, how can I lose weight if I eat more? And I'm like, just trust me, okay? And it happens obviously all the time then when they just follow the guidelines, I suppose. But so many people go wrong by just not eating enough food.
That is so true. Like a good party dinner, we all love it here. We enjoy a
Yeah.
good dinner, you know, a traditional dinner,
Mm,
um, with food like with chicken or steak or whatever.
yeah.
And I find another factor is because we're here, we're not getting to go abroad as well. You know, we're not in the sun so much. So when you're abroad, you're actually eating lighter too.
Yeah.
And when you're at home, we've colder weather, we're prone to eating a big hearty stew or a warmer dinner too, aren't we? In
Yeah, and
some,
that's the problem with lockdown. Obviously, we're in lockdown now a long time, but a lot of people, there's so many different elements and reasons why people aren't, let's say, eating healthy or as healthy as they normally would now, because they're at home, they've no motivation, wherever it may be, they've no gym to go to, and they just don't want to work out at home or whatever. But it's the weather that has a big impact. And you're talking about not being able to go and be in the sun. Like, obviously Ireland isn't great for the sun, especially it's only coming up to April now, so we're starting to come towards the summer months, and even at that we won't get a lot of sun, we know that. But it's harder to eat, like, you're not going to want to eat a salad every day. And anyway, and you shouldn't just eat salads every
absolutely.
day. But even that one day where you're like, okay, I'd normally have a salad on a Monday, you just
Yeah,
don't want to do it because it's cold. And people go for kind of comfort foods.
totally. I totally agree. We do. It's just the way we are here, you know. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that, exercises at home does help, like your, you know, your weights, all the different exercises, your resistance training, it's so good. And even going for a simple thing like a walk outside, build your,
yeah,
you know, if you go for a walk every day, that's a huge thing. Even just building your strength up, going for a little walk with your dog or your friends or whatever, family, and then eventually go running to, you know, you just try that and you feel so much better as well, mentally and physically, and then just build it up from there, you know?
yeah. I'm glad to hear you say that, because again, so many times over the last year, even 14, 16 months, people are saying, but I don't have a gym to go to now. But I don't want. I'm not able to run. I'm not a runner. I can't do 5Ks like I'm seeing people doing on Instagram and Facebook. So what can I do? Like, but you're saying even just to get out, go for a walk, get that bit of fresh air. I'm glad you're saying it because I'm normally the one saying that to people. But it's good to hear a member saying that as well. And I know you are training with Kieran,
Yes.
online now at the moment, and you have been. But it's good to hear someone else saying that even if you don't have the gym, I suppose do a bit of exercise at home or go for a walk because it does
Yeah,
help.
absolutely. And like that, running, I'm only learning to run. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Under 5K, and I can be breathless a little bit too, you know, but I'm learning it and, you know, gaining my strength and getting fitter and fitter. And everything's gradual. We're all learning all the time, you know, and just everything is worth a try and just go for it. That's what I would say. And also, I think sleep is so important for everybody, for your mental strength, for your physical
Yeah.
strength. It's such a good thing to have a good sleep, and even to try some meditation is brilliant, you know, before you go to sleep or even when you get up early in the morning.
Mm.
And it's powerful, you
I
know.
know a lot of people that are starting to kind of do a lot of meditation now at the moment. Like, would you do a lot of meditation?
No, but I would try it, like, you know, a few times a week. But I also would find prayer is very good as well. Like, a power prayer is amazing too, for your strength as well, for your mind too.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. Everybody is different, and it's just about getting something that's gonna work for you. Whether it's going
Absolutely.
online training, whether it's going for a walk, going for a run, meditating, whatever it may be, like yoga, Pilates. It's just about finding something that
Your
works for
hobby.
you, I suppose. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's your niche. Like, even painting, I tried that as well last year, painting classes, and I loved it. It was so therapeutic and relaxing. And like, I would go to singing lessons as well. I love that too. That's an outlet for me.
Excellent.
Um, just try whatever it is that you enjoy. If it's football, whatever it is, golf. I
Yeah.
would also, I'm learning golf to play golf too. But whatever it is that you enjoy, and just go with that and go for the training as well. And you'll eventually find that you really, really enjoy it. And it's a great outlet for your mind and your space.
And you're talking about football and golf and stuff like that. I know a lot of lads that play golf. Now, I don't myself, but my kind of go-to thing is I obviously exercise all the time. But when I'm exercising, it's obviously in our gym. And I'm looking around, I'm saying, okay, well, I could probably change that there and do this here and improve this. And I'm always still in work, if you get me. So my kind of go-to thing is football. Like, I love playing football, but now during lockdown, like the gyms, that's all stopped. So
Mhm.
what you said a minute ago is what I'm at the being spending a bit of time over the last year doing is a bit of painting, but I'm doing painting in the house and out the back garden and stuff like that. And I do really find it actually kind of relaxing and almost self-meditating, getting out and spending a bit of time just painting. And I never
That's
would
so
have thought I'd
true.
have enjoyed it before, but now I have no option because I'm stuck at home. So I have to do something. And it's great. And that's just the outlet you have then, you know?
Absolutely. Gardening is lovely as well. It's just, it clears your mind, your headspace, you know, just trying all these different things. It really does help
Yeah,
a
very
lot.
good. And you even said you do singing lessons as well, yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing singing lessons every week, and I would
Very
have
good.
auditioned for X Factor about 2 years ago as well, but it's something I really
Oh,
enjoy too.
did
It's
you?
just an outlet for
How
me.
did you get on with X Factor?
Well, I would have gone on to the first stage of it in Dublin. I
Very
auditioned for
good.
the first stage. Yeah, but it really was fun. Yeah, it was a lovely
Brilliant.
experience.
Oh, that's great. Well done. That's a good achievement
Thank
as
you.
well.
Yes, I really loved it. It was really great fun, like great experience. It was lovely.
Do you work and have kids, and if so, how do you find time to exercise, or do you just give yourself, no, this is my time? How do you find time to exercise?
I would do that around the kids, like being at school or, you know, in the evening time as well. I have 3 children, so it's busy. Like, I've been, you know, we've had lockdown, so we've been
Yeah,
teaching the children in like remote learning at home. But like that, I would have a lot of stress, I guess, with my mom sick and other things too. So I have to keep going with my exercise to keep me going, you know.
yeah. It's just
Mom is
about, I
very busy.
suppose, having that mindset. Yeah,
Absolutely. It keeps you strong.
yeah. Very good. And I suppose then you mentioned there your mom is sick as well. Like, are you caring for her? Is she in hospital?
My mom is in a nursing home, and she has Parkinson's and dementia and
Oh,
barely any
okay.
hearing, but she's blacked out and collapsed a few times over the lockdown, and she's been very, very sick.
Yeah.
So she's been anointed twice already, and
Jeez.
she is very, very ill. And
Yeah.
God bless her, like, so you just pray when you see her and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And
please God, she pulls through, Marcella.
it's
And
been tough for
like,
her.
I
Trying
suppose that's another way of exercise kind of getting you away from that kind of stress and worry, I suppose.
Absolutely, because you need that to keep you strong and keep you going, because otherwise you could just, I find if you don't, personally for me, if I don't exercise, you can lose, I feel I lose confidence
Yeah,
and you can get tearful. Do you know what I mean? Being
yeah.
honest. So it really helps me to keep my confidence up and keep me strong and
Yeah,
focused.
I think that's a good point, and I'm glad to hear people. Well, obviously, you don't want to hear people being upset and finding things hard, but it's good that people share it because there is so many people out there that are going through these struggles. A lot of people now have family that aren't well. A lot of and
Absolutely.
people are minding them. They're caring for them, or they just don't get to see them. Obviously, with lockdowns, and you're not able to see them wherever it may be,
It's very
and
tough.
very tough. Like, well, I can only imagine it's very tough. And then there's other people that just don't have the motivation because they have, like you said, you had 3 kids. Some people have kids and they're doing the homeschooling, or they were when the schools were closed, and one thing can get on top of you. Never mind all of those things. So that's credit and well done to you for keeping going.
Thank
And
you.
it's only because of that positive mindset you have. It's very
It
hard to keep that all the time, Marcella.
it is, because I found that last year I couldn't see mum for about 6 months. So it was very, very difficult not being able to see her. And I can relate to that point with people, because not to be able to physically see her relatives and share those moments with them, it's just to be able to talk to them, to,
Mm,
spend time with them.
yeah,
The
yeah.
birthdays and Mother's Days, Father's Days, it's the simple things. And it is very hard on relatives not to have that interaction.
And
Definitely.
that's the thing. Like, it's very hard on, let's say, you obviously your mother when she's not well and other family members, but then there's you. You're gonna find it hard. Your kids aren't able to see their grandmother or wherever it may be, and all of this stress over the last year. And these things happen in everyday life before COVID, but now that there's lockdown and everyone's on top of each other in the houses, like, you need something to kind of keep you motivated.
Oh,
And
completely.
it's terrible because we're seeing on social media. Well, I'm just seeing on social media a lot. Like, there's so many people that are just obviously fed up. We're all fed up with the lockdown, but it's getting to them, which is normal. But a lot of people aren't coping with it because they don't know that exercise, for example, can help. And I mean, when I say exercise, I don't just mean online classes or out running. I mean, even getting out walking, even sitting out in your garden,
Mhm. It's
just, or doing a bit of gardening, doing the painting, cutting the grass, wherever it may be, just some form of getting outside away from those 4 walls to take your mind off all this.
Oh, completely, because it's such a very difficult time for people, the lockdown, and you can get, you know, like that if you watch the news. I find that I don't watch it too much. I don't rarely use social media, but like that, it could get into your headspace and really upset you, some of the things you see. So I think you have to, I always keep a step back from things like that and try
Yeah,
to just surround myself in the things that I feel safe and happy with, and the people around me that I feel are out for my good and are good to me and kind. Do you know what I mean? And just keep within that circle. And that's it. You have to do that. Otherwise, you'd be just far too stressed.
yeah. That's
It's
actually a
hard in
good,
people's spirit, you
yeah.
know?
Like, that's the thing. And it's about, obviously, it's different during lockdown because we are all locked in the houses, I suppose. But even you kind of just touch real briefly on kind of who you're surrounding with as well. It's important to have, whether it's in your work environment, whether it's at home or wherever, and socially, it's important to surround yourself with positive people. I feel because
Okay.
I know like, if you have social media, for example, and when I say who you surround yourself with, I also mean who you follow on social media. And I know you said you're not big on
Absolutely.
social media, but for example, there's a lot of negativity online.
Hmm.
I actually seen some stuff on Twitter yesterday, I think it was, and sorry, it was actually last week. Ireland were playing, and the goalkeeper made a mistake, and the abuse this guy is getting on Twitter just because he made a mistake, and there's just so much negativity. And look, he's after making his debut for Ireland, and all of a sudden he's getting a load of negativity. This will probably force him to have negative feelings, obviously, and he might want to come off social media. It's just because there's so much negativity. Now, that's people say tagging him, but I see a lot of people where they will be following these influencers or just celebrities, and there's a lot of negativity, or news feeds, as you said, there are a lot of news feeds people are looking at on social media, and it's just constant negative, 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 and that's going to affect your mindset as well.
That's very hard in that young guy, because, you know, he's putting himself out there. He's so young, and it's very, very, very sad. I do think it's an awful thing, and I do come across that on social media, and you follow different people, and like that, I don't know how they take those criticisms. It must be really hurtful. You know, it's very damaging to people. It's not nice. But that's what I don't like about social media. That's why I rarely use it, to be honest. And I just follow people that I find that in the sports world or music, you know, industry, or different artists or whatever. But like that, I just don't get social media. A lot of things I don't like about it. You know, I think it takes away that personal interaction in some ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's instant. We can talk to each other now. This is really nice. You in a podcast, it's really lovely space to speak to people. But I do think the instant criticism to people, it must be really difficult to kind of comprehend, you know, take that in and step away from that and deal with that. That must be very difficult. And then have media all on your back as well. Do you know what I mean? Other media or whatever.
Yeah.
That's very tough on people. Really, really tough.
Yeah, and especially over the last, I suppose, year and a half, you are seeing a lot of celebrities getting a lot of negative, like a lot of negative words being said to them, and it's not right, because there's obviously a saying, be kind always, because you don't know what people are going through. But that's just in sport. That's just a football game. Now,
Yeah.
I love football, but it's not enough to be going and abusing somebody on social media because of 90 minutes of a performance, you know, and
No,
it can really affect that person.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Their confidence just knock you. It's very cruel. And I think that's why, if people are out there on that, you know, social media platform, they need a good team around them that's looking out for them, a good circle around them, you know, that's there for them, you know, to advise them, and maybe mind their phone, have that phone, just literally give that phone to the PA or PR person, do you know what I mean? And deal with that, and just cut yourself away from it and protect yourself.
And what about
to look out for that for you, you know, to give you that space.
Very good, yeah. And what about people who aren't celebrities, the likes of us, and we're following people on social media? You said like you'd follow a couple of singers and stuff like that. Like, who would you, for us regular people, who would you suggest to kind of follow that give out positive vibes, I suppose?
Well, I would follow. I would have followed some of the footballers, like Jordan Henderson, different stars like that. I would follow some musicians. I really love Gary Barlow's music, and I would, you know, Robbie's. There's different stars. I would love their music and enjoy it immensely. And lots of different stars would say I'd follow. Yeah, and I just find that they're very, very giving people. And a lot of those people in that celebrity world, they're very kind and giving, and they create a lot of positivity.
Yeah.
And they're very kind to their fans as well. And a lot of the stars, they're really down to earth, humble people. They're really nice, like, you know. So I just follow a lot of the sports stars or whatever.
And that's the thing, when you see these people and they are kind to fans, as you said there, or whatever, it's much easier to follow them, because you know they're just genuine, and they're just trying to help people as well and brighten people's moods. With actually, you mentioned Gary Barlow there. I seen he did a I think it was a Zoom call or Skype call with a young girl, and he just basically, she was singing his song and he just jumped in and did, I think it might be from the Late Late Show or something like that, and he uplifted her in these times, because he jumped on and sang the song with her. You know, that's really a nice thing.
That was really, really special. Like Crooner, his, you know, the sessions he has, weekly sessions, oh, they're fabulous. I mean, and also to watch any of the, you know, stars singing, if they have like, for example, Kylie Minogue as well, lots of the stars, when they have a concert online, I think that is amazing for people, because people miss that social element of going to a concert. Like, you know what I mean? They enjoy that interaction, the night out, you know, going to the concert. It's such a wonderful place, the experience of, you know, the theatre, the stage, do you know what I mean? the vibe they create, it's such a lovely happiness, and everybody misses that so much. And I think artists and, you know, a lot of stars miss that too, and they feel, you know, they're vulnerable people too, you know, and
Yeah.
they miss their fans, they miss touring, and they have such an influence of positivity around the world to so many people, and it actually unites so many people. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are. When you go to a sports venue for a match or a concert or something like that, it creates such positivity and happiness to everybody, and it unites so many people. And it doesn't matter who you follow, what political party you follow,
Yeah.
where you're from. It's nothing to do. It brings everybody together. So I think we need that, you know, the concert venues brought back. Obviously we've guidelines now, but even to have concerts online or whatever, it really helps people a lot, and it lifts their confidence, and it does so much good.
Yeah,
Really
I think when concerts are allowed back and the full crowds, I think everywhere is going to be just sold out very quickly. The likes of flights will be sold out for holidays abroad, concerts,
Absolutely.
everything will be just kind of, all these events will be sold out because people want to get out and just want to socialize because they're sick of looking at those four walls, you know. And but look, we'll do it when it's safe to do so, I suppose, you know.
Absolutely.
Just getting back to training then, like obviously, like how many days a week would you train? And now, like obviously your food wasn't great before. Are you still finding the food now is okay? You're able to stick to it because it's more sustainable? Or do you find it like, do you feel like it's a diet?
Definitely, I do feel that I just need to keep on top of the food end. Like I wouldn't eat takeaway, rarely eat takeaway, but like that, I just need to record my food intake more. Do you know what I mean? And like that, I would train every day at home and doing my resistance training, and then I would go running twice a week.
And is there anything that you would feel you can say to yourself when you're tired and you're not in the mood of exercise and say, because I find this is a big one lately, a lot of people are just saying, even though they're sitting in and they're not doing anything, they're tired. So if you are tired or just not motivated that particular day, what is there anything you say to yourself to get you up off that sofa and get out?
See, I rarely sit down. I would literally just keep going with the kids or whatever. But like that, I would sit down in the evening time. But I'd find if I didn't go and exercise, gosh, you could sit back, but I actually don't. I never stop. I never rarely sit down because I feel like Mary Poppins at home, to be honest with you, with the kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally flying around them, and they're on their YouTube, or, you know, you might be playing a board game with Connor. I would play, we play Monopoly or different games together. He loves that. He enjoys that. Or Mia could be doing something, you know, she'd be talking to her little friends or whatever. And like that, it's just, you're flying around like Mary Poppins all night and doing different tasks around the house during the day as well, or whatever. So it's kind of like,
before you sit down, you jump onto some exercise and pick up those weights and start moving.
Exactly. And then literally at about 11 o'clock at night, I finally get to sit down and catch up on all TV or, you know, movies or films. I have so much to catch up on because they've taken over everything, you know what I mean? With the stuff they enjoy, like, you know.
And in fairness, that's one of the positive things for me with lockdown. I'm obviously, when we're not locked down and the gyms are open, I'd be busy, I'd be out of house and working or whatever. But now I find, obviously I'm at home, I'm able to spend more time with the kids and with my wife as well. And it's just, I'm finding that as a positive, that I'm able to spend more time with them that I normally wouldn't have.
That's really, really lovely. You can do that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's a nice time to have that time with them, family time. It's really lovely.
Yeah, I think my wife is looking forward to me going back to work now, though, you know. You know, I know, but look, I just wanted to thank you basically for coming on and just kind of sharing your story. And I find your mindset is really good on exercise, and you have so many different forms of exercise, and for not just physically but for mentally as well, to be able to have that good mindset, because I'm pretty sure you didn't always have that mindset, especially when you said you were in your 20s and you weren't exercising. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not just gym or walking, it's meditation. It's so much you're doing. And especially being busy, obviously with your if you have 3 kids, anyone who has 3 kids will know how crazy that is, like, you know.
Absolutely. Keeps
No,
you going.
but fair play to you. That's a credit to you for having that mindset and continue to have that mindset. I'm glad to hear Kieran really helps you there. Kieran's a great guy as well. He's such a
So good.
nice guy, and he's very genuine as well. And he just wants the best for you, and he's always there to support like all of his clients. So that's why all of his clients do really well, because he actually cares, like, you know, and that's the
He
main
does.
thing.
He's super. He's a really good mentor for people. And like that, when you think of all the, you know, people that are at home now, like college students as well, and school students, they really need so much out there to help them, because they are quite vulnerable, I think, right now. And they're not getting to enjoy, you know, meeting their friends or interacting with them. They miss that so much, and celebrate their birthdays, and, you know, just have that fun time, you know. And even going to college, you know, they're not getting to meet their fellow students and have that time together. It's very difficult. And to go out at the weekend, it's hard on them, really hard in their generation. I feel for them big time.
Yeah, of course. But look, I suppose when they see, obviously, I can only say when they see their parents, they look up to them and they'll say, oh, well, this is what I kind of think. If I'm positive a lot of the time and try and stay active, exercise, and just healthy physically and mentally, you try and be a role model for the kids as well. And when they see that, it's like you saying, surround yourself with good people. If you try and surround your kids with good positivity, good people, it's gonna feed to them as well.
Oh, totally. It does speak to them. That's for sure. Absolutely. Definitely.
Well, congratulations on your mindset, because that's a fantastic mindset to have. I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy to hear that. And again, it's not just about the gym. It's walking. There's a variety of things that you do there. So if one of them, you're not in the mood of doing it that day, you go to the next one. But you're always keeping yourself busy, and keeping healthy physically and mentally in these tough times. So well done, fair play to you.
Thank you so much, Jerry, and I really appreciate you having this podcast with me. It means a lot.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I'm sure other people will be able to relate to you, and hopefully somebody gets something from this and it can help them maybe get a little bit more motivated than they are. And if they were struggling with the gym, they might find running, they might find meditation, whatever it may be.
Absolutely, and that's what we want to do, to help whatever way we can.
Exactly.
It's so important.
Right. Well, listen, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was nice to actually have a chat with you, because I know because of the lockdown, I haven't actually met you and you haven't done a class with me or anything like that. I know you've been just doing the online training with Kieran, but it was nice to actually have a chat with you. And I'm sure as soon as the gym opens up, we'll be able to do a class and just
definitely
do a good workout in the gym, you know?
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for listening in today. I really do appreciate all the support. I hope you're getting something from the podcast. So I hope today's story with Marcella has helped you in some way. I'm delighted to hear how fitness has improved her confidence, and I do hope people are getting something from it. If you're enjoying it, please comment below. Tell your friends and family. Share it on social media as well if you can. So thank you. If anybody has any questions, as always, please send me a mail. Take care.